Hi gardening friends. I'm just jumping on here because I'm in my garden this morning. So I did this a couple of weeks ago. I just jumped on and answered any questions for anyone in the garden during winter. So if you've got any questions or you need support with anything, let me know. But I'm just playing this morning in the garden. I've just blitzed up my eggshells this morning, so that's what I've been up to this morning. Pop any questions that you may have, and anything about like the fertilizers I use or the soil I use, anything that you might want questions helped with. So I blitzed up my eggshells this morning. I probably was collecting them for about maybe like 4 months. I had so many, so I put them through my blender and it turned into like a oh, look, here it is here. So it's kind of still shell, but a lot of it, maybe like half of it, turned into powder because eggshells take a really long time to break down. Some people leave eggshells quite chunky and they use it for like a slug. Like slugs don't like climbing over the top of it. But I sometimes blitz mine up and put it straight into my compost. But this time around I've just sprinkled all my eggshells directly onto the bed, and that's full of calcium. So looks, maybe it'll help slugs, but I don't really not get in any slugs at the moment. So I was really wanting just the calcium benefits from it, and the eggshells take a really long time to break down, so the powder probably could get into the soil a lot quicker, where the eggshells, they'll break down for over a long time. Some people bake them. I didn't bake mine, probably just because of the time factor, because they say it can help break down the eggshells as well. And then some people put in the compost, but if you don't crush them properly, I think it can take years and years for eggshells to break down. So I've just sprinkled it all over my garden beds, and I've just just hosed it in. So anyway, that's what I've done there this morning. Anyone jumping on, I'm really just hopping on here because I'm in the garden. If you have any questions, especially I'm a newbie, so just to let you know, I don't have the best advice all the time, but if you have any questions, please ask. So I do use fertilizer. There's a lot of people that actually don't use any fertilizers at all because they might have in their soil, they might be making their own compost at home, or they're on a farm and they use a lot of manure. So I don't have access to any of that. So I do use products or certified organic. So in my soil, before every crop, I use worm castings by Vera Soil. That's how I get my it's worm poo, so manure. And I use rock dust because that's got minerals in it. And just paused, sorry. So I really, at the start, before every crop, I try and put a really good soil initially. So certified organic. I use Rocky Point because I can get that in Forbes through Mitre 10. And Chock-a-Block's just come out, which is a certified organic compost as well. So before every crop, I use like the compost, the certified organic, the Vera Soil worm castings, and I use the Monash rock dust. But then I do use fertilizers. So if you're interested, I'll show you. When asking for organic soil, what should you look for? Oh, Tabitha. So look, initially when you fill up your garden beds first, obviously that takes a lot of soil. So initially you're probably going to a landscaper, but so things that Keith Edwards, what everyone says to do is look for your pH level. So it should be around that neutral 7. Some landscapers, when Keith did his test, for example, were up at like 8.5, 9, and your vegetables won't grow. So test in your pH level. So if you're at a landscaper and you're about to get your garden beds, before you go and fill them all, just get like a sample of soil from your landscaper, and you're looking for like foreign objects in there as well, and asking them how it was made. I have had landscaping, like the soil, and I've had glass, batteries, all these random things in it, and I won't use the name or anything because it's not necessary, but just doing your little bit of research first. So what then I have done since that is like just really adding back to the soil before every crop now, and so hopefully that initial soil all the new stuff I'm putting in will end up being more of that than the old stuff I put in. So now I'm concentrating on the certified organic bagged soil. That's how I top up, is using bagged soil. I know bags not great, but that's how I just know that it's certified organic. I think I've just missed a question. Did that help your question, Tabitha? But yeah, so I will be using Chock-a-Block. That's a new product out, certified organic, and I use Rocky Point because that's certified organic as well. Alpaca poo is the bomb. Don't have to let it sit like the other poos. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, manures are great. Like I said, I use worm castings from Verasoil, but yeah, aged manure. Okay, so alpaca poo you might not have to let sit as much, because I know some manures they have to be aged, and like chook poo, I think people put in water and really dilute it, so you have to do a bit of research if you are using manure. Oh, good, Tab, great. And so yeah, just so you know, we sell garden beds, so any products I mentioned, like I'm not what's the word, I don't get paid by anyone, or what's the word, anyway, we just sell garden beds. So if I'm telling you about any products, it's just because they're being recommended to me, and I'm just trialing them. So how do you test the pH of the soil? Can you get the test? I got my pH test from, I'm just going to go inside for a second. I got my pH test from Bunnings. This is my little don't look at my messy house in the background, but this is like my little garden little station. It's like my little go-to, but this is the pH test. So I just got mine from Bunnings, and it was quite cheap, and you can use like pH prongs, but apparently they're not as great. So yeah, if I'm mentioning any products, it's just because they're the ones I'm using. I'm not getting paid by anyone to do that. So every couple of weeks, I use Soil Life. So there's a part A and a part B for this. Oops. So I use that probably every couple of weeks. There was a couple of months where I didn't use any fertilizer just because I just kept forgetting. And I'm just trialing this other company as well called, I think it's called Soil Dynamics. So they've got about 6 products, and I have just recently started using 2 of them. So one of them, the Happy Gut Tonic, it's got seaweed in it, and apparently seaweed's really good for your plants, for the immunity. So it's like you only have to use a tiny little bit in your watering jug. So I'm using that, and I used that when the seedlings were young, as like to give them a bit of like support initially. And then the other one of theirs I got is the Jurassic juice, and so that one kind of acts as like a carbohydrate. So I've used that probably every couple of weeks. So I'm just trialing different things, but as long as they're certified organic, I just think like as humans, we need vitamins sometimes. Like that soil you put in initially, the plants draw all the nutrients it needs to grow, and then as they grow, they might just need boosting. So I just think of it as that way. But like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money on things. People really concentrate just on the soil health itself, like the manures and things initially. When are you putting your winter veg into the garden beds? Tabitha, I've already done all my winter veg. So I still have it's crazy. I still have tomatoes growing. I'm actually quite hot, and I've got a jumper on. So I'm still getting tomatoes. So I've got 2 garden beds that have still got tomatoes in them. So I'm just letting them be. So obviously they're the leftover summer crop. But all my winter veg are basically in. I've got onions. They take a really long time to grow, actually, but I'm glad I'm still doing them. They take, about 3 months. Beetroot, I highly recommend. This is like my favorite thing to grow, and then my favorite thing to eat out of the garden is beetroot. It's just so easy, and you can eat the leaves, and gosh, it looks good. Like, you look at my onion bed and it's like, oh yeah, growing something in there. But for aesthetics and like a bang for your buck, like look at that beetroot bed. It's just going bonkers. So and what I love about root veggies is they don't seem to get pests. The biggest thing is that you just don't overwater them, because you can rot the actual vegetable. And then I've got my brassicas. I've just taken the net off, and I've just squashed about 10 caterpillars in here, because I could see, as soon as you see like munches in the leaves, and because the caterpillars from the white butterfly, they're green caterpillars, it's so hard to see them, but if you got holes, it means you got caterpillars. So I've just squashed about 10 caterpillars today, because it's so warm still. The white butterfly is still out, so I've only taken this net off just because I was squashing caterpillars. What do you use for natural pest control? So, well, I just use my fingers for those ones. So natural pest control for white butterfly, for caterpillars, you can actually make up a chili concoction. Like, I think it's like garlic and chili, and you put it with a bit of soap, and you can use that as a spray, because the caterpillars just die off that. The pest, I don't seem to get any pests in my root veggies ever. Eggplants, I know it's at the end of the eggplant season, but I was getting grubs in my eggplants, and so I had to net them, because nothing was really stopping them. So netting's a really good pest control. But I'll show you. I'm just putting that tomato in my mouth. Eco Neem and Eco Oil is kind of like the go-to for everything. And now I'm trying to find, this is like my little, under this chair is where I keep all my little bits and pieces. So, sorry, so many questions. It's not, no, it's good, Tabitha, please. That's good. Otherwise, I'm just talking to the camera. It's so good to have questions come through. Don't ever be sorry for asking a question. So, Eco Neem and Eco Oil, I don't find them to be like the strongest pest control. Like, they do a good job, but they're like not the strongest thing. So these are certified organic. So you mix them together. I actually killed a couple. Hi, Meryl. I'm just good. I'm just doing a video. So Eco Oil, don't use this on the hotter months, because it burns your leaves. So during summer and spring, just Eco Neem on its own. And then with the cooler months, you can then add it with the oil, and the oil is what makes it kind of stick and last a lot longer on your leaves. So then you just kind of have it like a little bottle made up and spray. If you've got like when I had the pumpkin beetles, I was spraying them every couple of days. So it just depends on if you are facing an issue with some kind of pest. But what Keith says, because obviously we all love Keith, he's so knowledgeable, is that you use these also as a preventative. So if you know, like, beetle season's coming up, you could start spraying them before you wait to get attacked. So I do use those, and I haven't used those, I can't remember when I would have used them last. No, yeah, I haven't had to use them in a while, actually. And then you can, so they're ones that you make up yourself, and then you can just buy the sprays if you're a bit time poor. But now I tend to make up my own concoction. And then I've got sea salt. I haven't done this for a long time. Sea salt is for heat. So sea salt, you make up same thing, dilute it, and it's good for like weather protection. So once the frost starts to come in, like spraying that sea salt, it protects against the real cold weather and also the really hot weather. So sea salt is another option as well, but that's not pests, that's just another solution. So yeah, I don't have a great lot of knowledge about natural pest control besides like researching your own homemade solutions and Eco Neem, Eco Oil. I know like Sarah from Stony Creek, she suggested some things as well when we had beetles. So there are other natural certified organic products depending what bug you're facing, like what the pest is. I can't read that now, it's sunny. We are trying to work out best spot to put the veggie patch. They ideally get morning sun or day arvo sun during winter and summer. Yeah, so positioning, you can see I've decided, that's the road there. I've decided to put my veggie patch in the front yard because of the sun. So they say 6 to 8 hours of sun What did I read the other day? East to west positioning. I think mine are facing the wrong way. So east to west. I'll send you a little blurb because I was helping a customer plan her garden beds, and it was east to west positioning. But if you're getting like the 6 to 8 hours over the day, like I've heard someone say, like, you know, it might be 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon, as long as it's kind of getting that sun. So I'm probably not the most knowledgeable on that, but I can definitely help you. I asked like just Googled and chat GPT about positioning. So as long as you're getting that 6 to 8 hours, because my backyard only gets about 2 to 4, maximum of 6, and I think my veggies didn't grow. So that's why I've committed to taking over my front yard, which I'm so glad that I did. Any other questions? This is really good. Tabitha, thank you. You've saved the video by asking all these. It's so good. If anyone's got any questions, I'm literally just jumped on here. I did this a couple of weeks ago, just jumped on and asked some questions. I just thought there's a lot of newbies out there. Like I said, I'm new myself, so there's a lot more people that are more qualified to be helping, but I'm just sharing my beginner knowledge. So other things that I'm up to at the moment is my compost. I'm working out that I have compost bays out the back, and so all my veggies and all my boxes and like plain paper boxes go out into my compost, and then I let it set and I put that in my garden bed. And it probably only topped up one out of, like, I've got about 8. It probably only topped up such a small amount. Like, if you're making your own compost, it really doesn't go far enough. So that's why I do buy bagged compost. But I love the idea of making your own. So I'm going to go out the back and turn my compost today and add a bit more rock dust into it, because that helps activates things and gets things going. Any other questions? I'm going to ring my local landscaper place about their soil. Bobcat is coming this week to level out the area. Fantastic. Yeah, so ring your landscaper. I don't know, if you've got other little gardening friends in the area, maybe just ask how theirs have gone as well. It's a tricky one. I know that landscapers struggle as well. Like, you know, because a lot of landscapers, I'm not talking like some landscapers, they'll use like green waste. So it's, you know, I use my green bin properly, but there's probably a lot of people that just chuck whatever in their green waste, and so that all ends up in the compost that these like places are making. Like, it's such a shame that people aren't using their green bins properly, because it's such a good idea that we all put our green waste in and then it turns into compost. But the problem is people obviously run out of spaces in their red bins, and they just like, whatever, put in the green bin. So they're wrecking it for all of us, really. So, but the thing is, if your pH is too high, your veggies aren't, whoa, I just dropped you. If your pH is too high or too low, your veggies aren't going to grow. So you do need to be fussy about your soil. If you can only get crappy soil, because sometimes you can only do that, I would maybe be using like a less amount of that and still purchasing bagged soil to add to it. Like, I know it's really expensive buying the bagged soil, but it's like you put so much money into like buying your garden beds, that's an investment, and then you're buying your soil and all these things, but then if your veggies don't grow, you think you just are failing, but really you just didn't get your soil right. How can you change your pH? Keith and I just did a live video on this last week, and I'm gonna have to rely on going back to that. So there are some products you can do to lower it, and if any of experienced people on here now want to add into the comments how to change your pH, but you can add some different, there's a white butterfly on my, look, there it is, see? Oops. Sorry, I just cut out. I went chasing a white butterfly because I didn't put my net back over my brassicas. If anyone knows the answer to that, the products they use to change the pH, but you can buy things from to lower and increase as well. For example, my berries, the pH was too high, so I've had to lower that. So what I did was actually remove some of the soil and put I've changed the soil. I went and got, I think it was a succulent soil because it's got a low pH, but there are products, but it can take quite a few weeks, a long time for the pH to change, but it is possible. Where do I get the netting? The netting, this is a bird netting, so the holes are a little bit bigger, and I just got that from Bunnings. You can actually buy a bug and bird netting, but I was told you got to try and let in the good bugs still as well. Nothing's really going to stop aphids. You're just going to have to squish them with your hands and check on them, or use that chili spray I was talking about. Yeah, so the net, I just buy a big roll of it and then I cut it to size. And so I only cover my brassicas because the white butterfly only is interested in brassicas. And then the pipes I've used was just from Bunnings. I got a big roll of poly pipe, which is, I think it was an 18 millimeter. And then I've just sawed that to make arches. I've seen people make really pretty netting and whatnot, but anyway, this one just does the job. And how do you put over them? So yeah, and then the netting, because of the wind and everything, so it basically is when you buy the roll, it's basically the right width. It's just that you need to cut the length. And then I just use hair clips. This is the best thing. And you just clips over the pipe like that. I've tried all sorts of different things, tucking it in and all that, but a good old hair clip. I've got hair clips probably on every second of them to keep them down. Hope that helps. So look at the white butterfly. I used to think white butterflies were just so cute before I was a gardener, because now it's just get away from my garden. So look, I've spoken a bit all my winter veggies are now in. I am using fertilizers every couple of weeks, certified organic, focusing on really good soil. So I use certified organic soil to top up now that I've got my beds, and then I use Vera soil worm castings, and I use Monash rock dust before every crop. And I feel this time around my veggies just feel so in good condition. My tomatoes are still growing, and I honestly think that now that I've got better soil, and obviously I'm a year in now, so I'm learning a little bit more, but I just feel like everything feels in really good health. And then just using those fertilizers to keep adding nutrients, or topping them up throughout the season, because as it starts taking all the nutrients out of the soil, you just the fertilizers just help it going. Could you make a list of products when you've tried them and if they're good? I will do, Tab. Definitely the Soil Life, I've used that for a while and I like that. And I follow some gardening pages and they're using theirs, and I trust what they say. There's a couple of ladies that I really do trust, and that's what they're using. And then this is what, because when I did a live video with Beck from Monash a couple of months ago, and she was talking about to have healthy veggies you need these different components, and she spoke about seaweed. So that's why I went on the hunt to find this. I really like these guys as well. They're I think they're Victorian. Anyway, if you buy one of their products, it means you get access to their portal of gardening tips for life, basically. So you don't need to go out and pay for a program about gardening. As soon as you buy any of their products, you can just access that. So I like it, and I like their videos. They seem like really good people. It's funny how same with our customers. I think people buy from us because they know that we really care and they trust us. I'm a bit the same with products. I go with, it is still certified organic. That's my main point. And then also finding people that you can research and you trust and you build a bit of relationship with. So yeah, they're the ones mainly that I'm doing. I'll show you the rock dust. So Beck, I just adore. So this is what I sprinkle. This is what I add to my soil. rock dust. So this has got volcanic minerals, volcanic crushed rock in that. So I sprinkle that on my compost, and I put that on before every new crop in my soil. I just sprinkle a couple of handfuls. So that definitely I'm an advocate for, and Beck's just beautiful. And then the Verasoil, they're actually based in Yenda, just outside of Griffith, and I just love those guys and everything they're doing. I've got it in this tub, and you can actually put this on your lawn, and you can actually... This is giving away like how bad I am. Look at this. I've just sprinkled it on the lawn with an old saucepan. That's funny. So that's the worm casting. So I put that on my plants, my lawn and my garden beds, and I probably put a full bag of that, half a bag to full bag before every new crop, because that's just worm poo. Like, it's just so good. There's nothing else in it but worm poo. Where do I get them from? Can you send pics? Yep, I will do, Tab. I'll do a little follow-up post with the products I use. And yeah, my main thing is that they're certified organic, that I've, had a research with the company. And they are real beautiful, mainly family businesses. Well, they're all little family businesses. I just love that. Yes, so that's pretty much everything. And so really I'm just in the growing period at the moment, watching things grow, monitoring the pests. There's that white butterfly again. My net's on now, so I'm not too bothered. And then, yeah, look, the root veggies, like, things take 3 months. So I've just got some things that are ready to harvest. Like, look at these eggplants down here. That's like, there's 8 of those in there. And I really do think it's because of like the soil health I've got going on, and using the fertilizers, and obviously planting at the right time of year and all those things. I don't know. I'm happy with how things are going. I probably will do another succession plan of winter veggies. Once these tomato plants, I keep saying in 2 weeks when the tomatoes stop, I'll put some more veggies in here. And I've probably said that for 2 months. Like, they just keep producing. And once again, I do think it's because of the soil. And, like, look at that. Tomatoes. So once they go, and I'll probably put it in another succession. Yeah, any other questions? I just wanted to jump on. It was a bit spontaneous. But, yeah, that's me in the garden at the moment. Like I said, my front yard's in my patch is in my front yard, so it gets quite noisy. But yeah, I'm just enjoying it all. I'm in a year in, and I still am learning so much. Like, Tab, you just asked me about the pH level, how to bring it up and down. Like, I know I've heard it many times from Keith, but I'll have to refer back to that. There's different products. So I'm still like, I'm retaining a lot, but I'm still like, oh yeah, what's that thing about the thing? Like the positioning, I just need to double check. There's some things that I still aren't cemented in my brain, but I'm like, from a year ago, I'm just so far on my journey. And I'm just trying to enjoy it and get the kids out as much as possible. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Yeah, if you think of any other questions after this, I'm here to help. Like, I keep saying, like, we're not just here to sell garden beds. Like I say, like, Dad is it's like providing the garden beds, and then, hopefully our page still provides like the aftercare. Like, well, what do you do with the garden bed? Like, so many people were brand new like me, and I just think, like, I was so overwhelmed a year ago. So you get your garden bed, and then it's like, well, what's next? Well, hopefully you can find that on our page. And I just want people to be successful and not just be caught up. We've seen all of our customers' success stories. Like, well, how do they get to that point? Like, that's why I like to do these videos and do chats with Keith, is so that you can all be successful, because it can initially feel overwhelming, but there's just, there's rules to gardening. I know a lot of people just wing it and they're successful. They're probably 20 years in where they don't have to think about things. But initially, there are some kind of rules you need to follow to be successful. And I use the moon plan, the moon calendar as well. So that's, I think, helped me in my journey as well, to give structure and just kind of go with, how the environment works. So yeah. I have, about a year ago, I made a little gardener's guide with just what I was learning at the time. I was just putting it all down on paper. So if anyone wants to read that, let me know and I'll send it to you. Just like, it was just a little free guide I made up. But anyway, I hope that's helped. What do you mean, the moon calendar? Oh, let me go to my little trolley again. So the moon calendar is basically, there's a 28 cycle with how the moon works. And he's go back to my little trolley of gardening goodies. So here it is here. So the moon calendar, and Keith and I actually did a video about the moon calendar. So he speaks about it really well. But this is the moon calendar. So basically every month you change the new moon. So then what are we on? What month are we? We're in May, so the 27th. So you move your little wheel to the 27th. So then it tells you periods when you should plant your above ground veggies and your root veggies with how the moon's acting. It's the force of the moon, same as the ocean, how it changes the tide in and out. Well, the moon does the same thing to the earth and the plants. So if you plant in line with what the cycle of the moon's doing, your plants are going to react better. So you get an 11-day high growth period for sowing or planting your above ground veggies, and then you get 2 days of root veggies when you should plant your root veggies. And Keith talks about this best, but basically it's like drawing up the energy, or the roots when you got your root veggies is drawing down, and you're bringing the roots further down. And look, Keith talks about it best, but basically your above ground veggies and your root veggies require different energies. And so look, if you plant veggies anytime during the month, they're going to work, but this is just optimizing the growing. And this is like $15, these guys, from moongardeningcalendar.com, and they're like $15. These guys are up in Queensland. When should I plant my seedlings according to that? So I think we're just past. You'll have to wait till next month. So what day are we on? Okay, so the next that's coming up is your root veggies on the 16th and 17th. You've got 2 days there. And then you've got another 2 days up on the 23rd and 24th. So we move our wheel to June. So June was the 25th. So you move your little wheel to the 25th. So your high growth period will start on the 27th. Oh, there you go. Right, 27th of June. Does that sound right? That sounds wrong to me. Well, it says the 27th, so that's the 27th of June. It's a long time to wait. Unless, I'm going to have to clarify that with Keith. Or is it the 27th of May? I'm going to come back to you on that, because it overlaps. Let me check. I'll get back to you, Tab. I might do I'll put it in my story after this. I'll ask Keith, because it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm thinking the 27th of May. I'll come back to you on that. I don't know. I'm going to tell you I don't know, and I'll find out. Normally it's really easy for me to see, but that falls on a weird time. Anyway, so moon calendar. Keith swears by it. I swear by it. I'm giving you lots to do. No, I love it. Tabitha, you've made this video more depth. It's great. If you have any other questions, please ask. I just love it. Don't be sorry, Tabitha. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm here for. Moon calendar. I'm gonna post a little story after this and tell you when the moon calendar starts for next month for above ground veggies and the root veggies. So there you go, a rookie in the patch. I hope that helps. There's a lot going on, but it's so enjoyable. Once you've been through a year, I feel like you reflect on the previous year, and you just kind of, what they say is 4 years to really find your groove. So I'm year in 1 and I'm feeling a lot better. So by 4th year, you should feel like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Here we go again. But like even Keith says, as a 40 years in, he's still learning. Like I think it's just one of those things you'll always keep learning. Jess, yes, what's your question? Beautiful Jess. So look, I will try and do these more often, because I just think, you get these questions in your head. I'm going, I must ask that. So I might just jump on and do these every couple of weeks. I'm waiting for Jess's question, and then I'll hang up. Anyway, this sun, isn't it amazing? I'm like, I need to take my jumper off. It's so warm still. I think that's why my tomatoes are just thriving still. Will you be planting anything with the new moon calendar in June? I probably won't. I'm going to miss next month because I actually have everything in and growing. But the month after, just depends what my tomatoes do, because then if my tomatoes are finished up, I will have 2 more beds to play with. But I might miss June. But if I had space, and for example, if I was someone that hadn't had everything in yet, I would definitely be doing beetroot, onion, carrots. Look, brassicas, if you're new to gardening and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, I don't think brassicas are, like, you might just go to a farmer's market and buy your broccoli. It's a lot of work, but if you can set yourself up with the net, it's just can be heartbreaking, and they're just like, it just takes a lot more effort to look after them, but definitely worthwhile. I just think they take a lot of space of your garden bed to only grow 8 broccoli, where in the same space, so like there's 8 broccoli and cauliflower in there, and in this same size garden bed, I've probably got maybe 50 beetroot. I just think if you're new to gardening and you only maybe had a couple of garden beds, I don't know if brassicas are the way to go. Or, yeah, I just think root veggies initially just give you so much more space. It'd be different, like, in summer when you have like one plant of zucchini, it gives you like 50 zucchinis, where the broccoli or cauliflower, you grow one and then it's done. And basically then you need to prepare that bed again and then get something growing again. I just think brassicas, look, I'm still doing them. I still have one bed I'm doing brassicas with, but I probably wouldn't, don't know. I just think there's other things. But look, like I said, I still am growing them, but I'm not using as many beds this year doing brassicas. Sprouting broccoli is good. Yeah, you get to snap off the head and then you get all these little shoots. So that's good. Yeah, I definitely think broccoli out of cauliflower and broccoli, I'd do the broccoli because you can keep snapping bits off. Do I use different soil for the carrots? So all these garden beds, I replenished really healthy soil, except for my carrots, I did nothing to. So Keith was saying carrots like, what's the word? Is it diminished? Like when everything's been sucked out of the soil, the carrots prefer that. So I haven't done anything with my carrots, and it needs to be very loose. So I did get the prepping fork and I mixed it about, because if your carrot's growing down and it hits a lump of anything, it will just shoot off in a different direction. That's how your carrots end up getting like legs and things, because your carrots aren't in like loose enough soil. But I do know people use like, sandy loam and all those things. Depleted, thank you. What did I say? Something silly, I'm sure. Thanks so much. The flower patch. Depleted soil. So I'm giving my carrots a go this time around in depleted, thank you, soil. And look, my carrots aren't going that great because I did plant them with the kids and they just kind of plonked a lot of carrot seeds in one spot. So now I've had to go back through and put in like another succession. But anyway, it's interesting. Carrots has probably been my hardest one. I find they've been a bit scrawny, and maybe because my soil had too much nutrients in it. Anyway, I'll come back to you on that. But just as long as it's loose soil, like mine's really loose. Like mine's just, I went to my mum's house the other week and she had got her soil from a landscaper in Wagga, and it was that hard I couldn't even like scratch it with my finger. Like I don't know how any vegetables would grow in that, but definitely carrots wouldn't grow into it. You really need that loose soil. Jess, did I see your question come through? Oh yeah, what will I be planting? Sorry, I go off in circles. I hope that's helped. Anyway, I've rambled on a lot. I hope that's answered some questions for people. I might put my last time I did this, I didn't even post it because I just thought whoever was on could have those questions answered. But there was a lot of great questions in here, so I might put it as a post so if people miss the start as well. All right, well, it's a lovely day to be in the garden. I actually have a lot to do on the laptop, so I thought I'm going to come out here and procrastinate and do a live video. I need to get in there and do so much stuff, but I just prefer being in the garden. Oh, thank you so much. My garden, My garden's so beautiful. Thank you so much. That's so lovely. I really am enjoying the garden, and I'm just so happy that my patch is in my front yard. I've chosen to go with the half height ovals because I like that I can still see the front of my house and my kids' garden. So yeah, I love that it's all like, it feels neat, and I love some gardens where you feel like you're going through a journey. And my backyard, I'm not going to take you out there because of the poor reception, but it's like, you know, a jungle and he's got a lot of trees and garden beds everywhere, but it's completely different. But I just love this patch out here. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you for joining on live, and I hope that's answered some questions. But please reach out if you need support, or if a plant died and you want to have a cry. Like, I'm here to be a support person for you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.